All right, so you want to do a quick sports topic?
Yeah, I think we could do that.
How many? How many? How many? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, what did I get up to?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of How Many, the only podcast on the internet that counts. I am one of your hosts, Jesse Jackson, and joining me today is a full cast roundtable. We have
FOOL. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. No, we have Scott.
Scott, I'm here.
We have Dr. Bobby Fever back just for one episode because, he's left us for his new podcast.
Hopefully you'll listen and enjoy all of the fun that we'll be having on the Bend and Scoop podcast.
Which he's trying to cross-promote right now.
We have Gary, we have Junior, and in a special, where the hell did he come from, we have Poochie. Chris Jackson joining us.
Yes, sir. Good to be with you. I want Junior to put extra bit trash.
Absolutely.
I want pre-produced.
Hey, we did think we'd spend a few minutes catching up on sports things as we record this. It's the middle of July. We are going to have basketball shortly. We're going to have baseball shortly, hockey shortly, and we just got announced some of the major college programs may not be playing football. Let's start out with Cowboy news. Last time we met, Dak was about to be signed, right? So I'm sure that's happened, right?
Well, since we had those discussions, Pat Mahomes signed like a $1 billion contract. So Dak is pretty much wanting to get into the $2 billion range at this point.
Chris Jackson, share with us, what has Zeke done since we have been social distancing?
You mean outside of getting COVID?
He would be the first person that you would think of, like, everything's okay, except one of our players tested positive for COVID-19. Okay, who do you think? Zeke Elliott. And then he's on his Twitch, right? He does, hey, I'm low-key faded, which, hey, okay, that's fine. He forgets to turn it off.
Oh, bro, I'm low-key faded, bro. Are you? Oh, no, I didn't even end my stream yet.
It's just always something, and he got paid, and it's a lot more money, though. You know what I mean, JW? So I understand why Prescott's not getting paid, but you can still
if you're Dak, and I want everyone to talk about this, aren't you Dak? You're going, really? They paid this SOB, and I can't get nothing?
No, because they've offered him as much money as any quarterback in the league other than Mahomes. It has nothing to do with the Cowboys offering him money. It has to do with the fact that the Cowboys said they wanted 7 or 8 years. He said he wanted 3. He wants to take advantage of the new TV deal that's coming in 2 years.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys came down to 5 years. He went up to 4, and now they're just playing chicken. So it's who's going to blink. It has nothing to do with money or desire. If they could just make him do whatever they want, he'd have a 7-year deal right now. But he doesn't want a 7-year deal. He wants 4.
So, hey, Bob, who do you think should blink? If you had your way, would it be 4 or 5?
I think they need to sign Dak.
Yep.
If it takes 4 years to get it done, just do it. There's not really much left for Dak to prove. They've taken this as far as it can go. Don't let it go past the deadline. Then you're going to have to pay way more.
Yeah.
Well, that's not even the problem. Look, you can around with 52 guys on your roster. You don't do that with a quarterback. There have been 2 quarterbacks play on the franchise tag. They don't stay after that happens.
What I don't understand, and Scott, I want to hear what you say, but it seems like you should be able to say, okay, sign a 5-year, but if you hit these goals, that 5th year will go away and becomes 4. Scott, what's your thought?
For the longest, I was kind of pissed at him balking at what they were saying or what they were offering because I thought hadn't proved himself yet. But now I'm to the point of you know what? If they don't sign him now, they're going to end up having to pay more.
It always gets more, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, just get him in, Be done with it. Like Troy once said, somebody sign Emmett.
Yeah. Junior, how about you?
I think if I'm the Cowboys, I wait it out, actually, because I don't even know if there's going to be a season this year. With the way COVID's going, with the way so many players are testing positive, there's not going to be as much revenue this year. There's not going to be any ticket sales. People aren't going to be spending money. So to me, I would wait. I would wait till next year, and I would keep him at the franchise tag. I would let the deadline expire, and then I'd see how it goes. If we play a season,
you go run a franchise in Houston or something then.
I mean, he's not Mahomes. You're talking about him like
he be Mahomes.
Somebody said he's got nothing more to prove. I mean, he's made it to the second round of the playoffs twice. That's it.
Trash. Hold on. VH1 Public Video. Junior, were you sad about the fair?
The state fair?
Yes, sir.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the State Fair of Texas.
Ah, yes. It's that time of year.
Come one, come all. Get yourself some Texas-sized diarrhea.
Yeah,
That's
I think
random.
all of us are shedding a tear. We're not going to be able to get our deep-fried burrito lasagnas. We're not going to be able to be purchased.
So, Chris Jackson, you cannot remember. You were born in 89. You were a Landry baby. You always make a point of saying that.
I'm Tom Landry. I'm a great fan of Ruby Paul.
You cannot remember the Cowboys being good in your football lifetime. Technically, they won while you were alive, but really not in your football consciousness.
Well, he would have been 7.
I would say the couple of times that I thought we were actually good was when I was young. I remember us being in that Super Bowl against the Steelers.
95.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you're 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But
then I remember 2003 against Carolina. We got our ass hutted. I think Bill Parcells was first year, right?
Yeah, it was.
And then, of course, Tony is whenever my first sports consciousness was whenever we played the Houston Texans, because I was in 8th grade, and it was the first season we played St. Pius, and I was at St. Monica, and they drilled us.
Was that the first inaugural season of the Texans where we lost to them in the opening game?
We just didn't do anything. Jared's on the sidelines too. Campo. It's terrible.
It's getting hot in here.
So hot.
I better win some games.
You better win some games. We better make the playoffs.
you have seen a lot of bad football.
I would say also 2007, right?
Richie's best run was probably the Dez caught it. That
Yep,
was probably
and that's what I was going to get to. Is the next was 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. And then the Seattle game. That's when I was like, wow, okay, here we go. We finally have something. And then the Detroit game, trash. Trash.
Coochie is just nonstop disappointment, it sounds like.
Yeah, this has been one
You
disappointment.
were born in the wrong era.
Oh,
look at it this way, dude. You got to live during the Chutch era. And not everybody can say they got
number 7.
He still has a Quincy jersey in his closet.
17.
Quincy!
Yeah.
If they had just stuck it out with Drew Henson, maybe they would have got somewhere.
Number 17, right?
If only.
Talk about where those guys are now.
Oh.
If they just had given Garrett just one more year, that's all they needed.
That's what Junior kept wanting.
It's a process.
Well, we lost the game, but you have to understand that this is a process. It's a process that we go through. We're in the process of going 6-10 this year.
Coochie, assuming that we actually play a season, how do you feel this season is shaping up with the way the draft went, with the way free agency went? Did you think we were contenders this year?
We got CeeDee Lamb, and we don't have Garrett. So, if we would have got CeeDee Lamb last year, you'd be like, okay, whatever. But we got CeeDee Lamb with McCarthy. Do you guys like the fake McCarthy?
Couldn't really sleep last night because had an all-you-can-eat enchilada meal. It was running through me.
It's going to be like every freaking Cowboys offseason. We're going to say we don't have holes. We're going to say that we plugged them.
That's what she said.
And it's going to show up on national television that we definitely did not do that.
No, what's going to happen is we're going to dominate, and then the season's going to get canceled about two-thirds of the way through because of effing Corona.
That would be the way we roll. So, okay, so let's switch. You Spurs fans, how are you feeling? Like Paul does not even care, right?
I really wish they would have just declined their Their invitation.
The invitation.
Yeah, the Spurs have no chance. I would rather just finish it out, get in the lottery, and get the best player we can because the Spurs are pretty much done. Pop is done.
Yeah, Pop should have hung it up years ago. He sucks.
You guys always turn on Pop.
Yeah, they do turn on Pop.
He's turned on us.
Five-time champion.
They won with Duncan, not with Pop. Pop's terrible.
I guess you guys would have been turning on Landry, right? Like, oh, it was just Stallback.
Well,
Landry needs to go.
Lately.
I'm gonna reverse a whip. Junior, what do you think about the upcoming season?
For the Cowboys?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, this was going to be the most optimistic I have felt in a long time. I hadn't felt this good about a Cowboys team since probably maybe the year after the Cowboys lost to the Giants, but Romo was still pretty much in his prime. So like the 2008 season. I felt really good about that season before it completely went to I think 2008 was the year we started ooff like 3-0 or 4-0 and then just had a complete collapse. And then eventually Wade ended up getting fired. Just roster-wise, I think this was going to be one of their strongest rosters, assuming everybody came back.
Don't we always say that every year, though?
No, there's been years where I could tell that, especially the defense, I knew was going to have huge holes that were not addressed.
As much as I always believe in them, it seems like it's always follows the formula of they come out, they play great for a couple of games, and then they get butts handed to them. Then they'll come back and they'll play okay, and then they'll get beat again. And then it just seems like for the last half of the season, everybody's figured them out. And they know exactly what they're going to do every day. But then again, we got a different coach now.
We do have a different coach. I do think it was a good draft, and I just think it's just typical. The odds are we'll probably be rolling, and then COVID will
Yeah.
I just keep seeing that in my head. Yeah, we're going to be like 9-1 or something, and then all of a sudden, season canceled, COVID.
So I think that COVID's going to take the season.
Yeah, Dak or somebody will end up getting COVID like mid-season. We'll have to roll with
COVID,
which wouldn't be terrible.
Yeah, dude.
At least we have a decent backup.
We have to roll with Heat Miser.
Yeah.
In addition to having one of the most talented rosters I think the Cowboys have had in a long time, I think we also have one of the deepest to where if we did have some injuries along the way, like let's say Zeke has to miss a couple of games, I feel good about Tony Pollard. There's enough depth there to where I feel really good about this season's roster in comparison to other years where we were paper thin with our backups.
Coaching is by far the biggest reason for optimism.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not only did they get rid of Garrett, they've got 3 or 4 guys on the coaching staff who have been head coaches in the NFL before. They got the best special teams coach in the league now. They got Greg the Leg. I mean, they've really done a lot.
All right, so I know Gary's excited, and even though you Spurs fans may be, Chris and I are very pumped about seeing what the Mavericks can do. Again, and they should make the playoffs. I'm excited about seeing what they can do. Gary, you want to give us some thoughts?
Sure.
You're always optimistic.
I think the start and restop, I think that it could be a thing that favors the Mavs. They're young guys that they just go out and play. And a lot of times some of the older guys, it might take them a few weeks to kind of get warmed up and get their bodies right and things like that. And they don't have that much time. And there are some teams that have players that aren't playing. Like Utah should be a pretty good team, but they're going to be missing a couple of guys. And then their two biggest stars are fighting. This is going to be a different season. It's probably going to have an asterisk next to whoever wins it. But if it's us, I don't give a crap. So.
Believe me, we are very familiar with asterisks on our side.
I'm excited about getting a chance to see just a playoff run. You know, obviously I'd love to see them go all the way, but it's just going to be exciting after a lot of years seeing a team you like in the playoffs and competing and seeing. So I'm excited about seeing that. All right, one last thing, and then we'll shut the door on it. We normally do not care about the team that is in the nation's capital, but as we recording this, they announced they are keeping their colors, but they are changing their mascot and their name. Anyone have a hot sports opinion on a possible name or thoughts on this change?
One of the guys we have online with us posted a Redskins helmet, and he said they should just keep the name and put a potato on the side of it. They could just be the Redskin potatoes.
I like that. That's not bad.
It sounded like everybody was saying they were going to be the Warriors. Like that was the hot name around Valley Ranch.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like Red Tails or something like that.
Yeah, Balloon Knots or Red Tails or something like
Balloon Knots.
That guy has gone and trolled them and like taken copyright on all those names.
Red Wolves, Red Hawks.
Yeah, he's got like 20 different names that gone and put the copyright on. You know, so if they're going to get it, they're going to have to pay him. You know, granted, they can pay him, but I think that's just genius, though, that the guy did that.
Yeah, I mean, if I had the foresight, I definitely would have done the same
Or
thing.
the
I think Gordon is known to do that as well, copywriting and trademarking all the show names and things like that.
All right. Any last things we need before we call it a segment?
My sports take, I've been doing great the last 3 weeks because professional disc golf is back.
Golf.
5-time world champion McBeast won the DDO a couple of weeks ago, which will be televised on CBS Sports next month.
Is that the Masters of Frolf?
No. The Preserve Championship, that was won last week by Nico LaCostra. Great finish. 3 guys going into hole 18, tied up. It was awesome. Somebody had to blink.
All right, well, we'll end that with a hot sports opinion. There we go. Chris, you've been watching a lot of wrestling. Any things you want to share, hot sports opinion about wrestling as they talk to empty arenas? And
did Hogan just have a big match or something? Ultimate Warrior?
I just want to thank each and every one of y'all for all you've done to your bodies. It's still real to me, damn it!
Didn't one of the chick wrestlers just no funeral?
Yeah. Thank you.
Paul in...
was that the chick that had that movie last year that Scott Sneeze was in?
Fighting with the Family.
By the way, Scott, we watched that movie recently. Fighting with My Family, and I mentioned to Chris that one of the other wrestlers was your niece.
My name is Jerry Lynn, and I may look like the girl next door, but underneath this is a firecracker, and I am going to blow you.
Excuse me?
Out of the water.
Good.
You did, actually. Yeah, that was a good movie, but no funeral.
Oh, gosh.
All right. There's some quick hot sports takes. We appreciate it. Please let us know what you think. Go to iTunes, rate and review us. If someone wants to reach you, Scott, how can they?
I'm on the Instagram now. And I think that's better to find me on there. And it's just S. Matula.
Now, why did you decide to switch over to Instagram instead of your current social media?
Twitter's so difficult to try to trace through.
Exactly. I've been saying that all along. So confusing.
It is a mess.
Bobby, you want to promote your new podcast?
I really want to keep the focus on how many. But since you brought it up...
The name of the podcast, which, by the way, you refused to join me on Set Leslie Bruce and promote.
It shocks you? It shocks you?
Oh, this is blow the lid off.
Yes, he did. I said, I'm like, hey, let's have you on. I don't need your crappy podcast. That's what I was told. Gary, you are not much of a travel cowboy anymore, but we can find you on Twitter at...
Travel_cowboy.
Very nice. Junior?
Mexican_Junior on Twitter. You can also email us howmanypodcasts@gmail.com or send us a message on the YouTube channel. Lots of different ways to reach us. And what's Poochie's Twitter handle?
Poochie stays away from all social media, so you can go to @JesseJacksonDFW and say, hey, that Chris Jackson may have something. Have him on again. For now, stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear an effing mask. And we'll talk to you soon.
Dallas Cowboy.